Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing the install for side emblem markers on 2008 to current Subaru WRXs and WRX STIs. The emblems come from the factory. They're silver and red. Depending on what year you have, they may change slightly, but the installation is still the same across all of them. The first thing you want to do is heat up the emblem. You do this to help release the adhesive that actually holds the emblem in place. You want to be careful though how much heat you actually apply. You can use a heat gun, however, you want to be very careful because that can get a little bit too hot. For me, I just borrowed my wife's hair dryer, set it on the high setting, and let it sit there for a couple of minutes. Before you really get started, one of the first things you'll want to do is actually just make sure that the replacement emblems that you bought actually will fit correctly. The 2008 to 2014 emblems are actually slightly different. They're longer than the ones you currently have on the current model STIs. So just double check to make sure everything's the correct fitment before you start taking the emblems off the side of the vehicle. One of the things I do to help remove the emblem is actually open the door. This allows you to get your fingers behind it to kind of give it a few tugs to see if the adhesive is starting to look more tacky on it. Keep in mind though, the adhesive that's used to hold these emblems on is really strong. Regardless of how tacky you think it should be, you're going to need to use some force to get it off. That being said, the emblem itself is actually adhered to the lower piece of the fender. So you'll notice that I start pressing against the lower piece of the fender to make sure that I'm not going to be pulling or snapping any of the plastic on there. If you start tugging and you just feel like the adhesive isn't letting go at all, you may have to just apply some more heat. Again, make sure your paint's not getting too hot, but don't be surprised if you end up having to heat the emblem up for upwards of almost 5 minutes. You're almost better off having a lower heat, but for a longer period of time to try and get that adhesive warmed up. So this black piece you see in my hand is actually a trim removal piece. Used to pop off panels such as door panels or trim panels inside of a car, but every now and then I find them actually pretty useful for getting behind tight areas like this. What I'm doing is I've actually started lifting the edge of the emblem up, and then I'm using the plastic trim piece to actually push the adhesive back off. That way it allows me to keep applying pressure without the adhesive getting stuck on me. If you're looking for one of these plastic trim removal pieces, they sell at almost any one of your auto parts stores. They're pretty easy to get a hold of, and they're really handy to have, whether you're popping off interior trim panels or small pieces like this. They're great because you can use them against the paint surface without worrying about scratching them. You just have to be careful with how much pressure you're actually applying. Just like that, it just pops right off. See, there's nothing but tape to holding it on, no fasteners, no screws. Although behind the emblem there is a fastener that's used to hold the trim piece of the vehicle on. However, that doesn't impact the actual emblems themselves. That's just a quick comparison of the old style that I was taking off and the new ones I'm putting on. Depending on where you're buying them, most of these vendors end up having a ton of different colors. You could have done black with neon yellow, you could have done white, there's all sorts of different colors out there. Just check with your vendor to see what options they may have for the style that you're looking for on your vehicle. Before you install, make sure you clean the surface very well. Any dust or grime that's behind there will actually keep the adhesive from adhering to the vehicle. The last thing you want is your emblem to go flying off as you're cruising down the highway. Now when installing the emblem, there's two separate tabs on the back side of the emblem that you'll actually want to align with the holes in the back. This helps you out. They protrude far enough that you can actually get it centered and then apply the pressure. You're going to want to apply an even pressure across the entire emblem to make sure the entirety of that adhesive sticks to the car. And just like that, it's all done. Total install time for me is about 25 minutes. Just depends on how cold it is in the shop. The thing that takes the longest is actually just heating up the emblem to get the adhesive to let go. But other than that, it's not a difficult install to do. I will include a link to the store that I bought mine from on eBay. There's plenty of stores out there that sell them, and hope you guys enjoy the video.